One of the major difficulties with being an entrepreneur here in Nigeria is you virtually must set up your own infrastructure, right? Because there's no light, you must get a generator. Because water supply is erratic, you must get your own borehole. So easily, by the time we draw up the business plan, in terms of what it will cost and just to take off, because again, we had a vision for ourselves that this is the kind of thing we like to do, and this is the scale and proportion that we like to start from. It came to like 20, 30 million. So imagine, even without earning a single naira.
Already put in 20 million now.
20, 30 million invested already, So those are the kind of things that I think will really put off and discourage entrepreneurs, because the cost of doing business in Nigeria is massive.
We'll take this next break. When we come back, even though he won't tell us what the X is, but he might tell us who Gbenga Adebija is. Don't you go where the program is the CEO. Just stay with us. You're welcome back. Still the CEO, Gbenga X Adebija, still our guest on the program. Well, Gbenga, you've talked about, I can see you've talked so passionately about your wife, about your father, and about mentoring. Where would you put all of us in building a business, in building and sustaining a business? Family values, societal values, mentoring, where would you place this in sustaining a business?
I think to a large extent, that's the foundational values that really drive whatever level of success that you're going to attain, whether in business or in career or whatever. From the beginning, one of the things that my parents imbibed and embedded in us was, one, you had to do your best in whatever situation you found yourself. So there was no room for, half measures, there was no room for slacking, there was no room for half-hearted, efforts. You had to put in your very best in everything that you did. And the second was contentment. That means you don't look at somebody else. You don't compete with anybody else. If anything, compete with yourself. Be the very best that you can be. Don't look at somebody else and say, oh, I wish I was like this person, or I envy this person, I want to be like this person. No. You can look at other people, admire them, and be inspired by whatever wonderful character attributes that they have, but don't ever look at anybody else in a competitive manner. So those are some of the values that drove me as a person. And as a husband, as a father, for me, I think that's been the most wonderful experience, being a husband and being a father. I look at my children, who I call the bomb squad. I call them the bomb squad. And I feel so fulfilled. And it reminds me of the fact that I need to set a good example for them.
Now, when you're not doing all the write-ups, you're not acting, you're not MDC, Aston and Leighton, what do you indulge in?
I spend a lot of time with my wife and my children. We'll go out, we'll go watch movies, we'll just go out, buy ice cream, and drive around town.
And how do you keep abreast of, how do you keep on top of, because I believe that every business, when you're leading a business, you have to be ahead of competition, ahead of, keep abreast of your environment. How do you do that?
For us, particularly companies like mine, still very much in the growth phase, it is a critical imperative to be sure that you are abreast of whatever it is that is happening in your external environment, because every company has to be customer facing, external facing. You need to be mindful of your operating environment. And so on a regular basis, there's a structure that we have in place, which keeps up to date about what's happening, latest trends, latest news, latest developments, and stuff like that. So, extremely critical.
Having worked with the likes of Christopher Kolade Bumioni, what leadership style are you putting in place?
Well, I would say I hope that I inspire my colleagues because I was inspired. I was the kind of person who never had to be sanctioned or the threat of a sanction before I could do anything or before I did anything. No, I was always someone who was inspired to do something. In those days, I would look at Dr. Kolade, I would look at Bumioni, and I would think, I have to be as good or even better than them.
What is your projection for the future?
For the future, well, we'll keep doing our very best. We want Achin and Layton to stabilize and also take its rightful place as
Nigeria 50 in just a few months' time.
Truth is, we haven't done very well as a nation, and we must be honest enough to tell ourselves the truth. If no one else is telling us, we better tell ourselves the truth. It's amazing that we are still at this level of development as a country, even though we are 50. It's appalling, it is extremely disheartening.
Don't you think your generation, my generation, what do you think we should be doing now? If the generation of the likes of Soyinka, not me, he said it, is a wasted generation, do you want to be part of a wasted generation? What do you think this generation should be doing? Good question,
good question. I think we must go beyond our current role of maybe advocacy and everything to actual participation. It's easier to stand, at the sidelines and advocate and say, oh, we should be doing this, we should be doing that, But if you don't actually jump into the fray, get into the trenches as well, and be part of the decision-making process. Otherwise, we'll find that what has happened in the past and what is happening now, and if we're not careful, what will happen in future, will just play itself out.
Getting a feel of a politician, the making here?
No, unfortunately not.
So how do you want to be part of that process?
Already, I've worked in government before. I was special advisor to a minister and everything. So for me, it was, when I got the invitation, it was an opportunity to say, look, instead of, sitting, folding my arms and, complaining about stuff, why don't you actually go there and see what you can do? And it was a very refreshing experience, very illuminating, but it made it even clearer to me that Nigeria is in dire need of people to steer the ship of state in the right direction. Otherwise, we will be at this abysmal level of development that we currently have.
So for a generation and generation to come, what would you say to them? Last word of advice, mentor them, inspire them.
I would say Nigeria is a wonderful country. I've been all over the world, and there's always a pull, to come back home. And anytime I'm home, I feel this is home for me. Our weather is fantastic. I've been in places like Denmark and Poland. Gosh. So we are so blessed in this country. The people are fantastic, the weather is fantastic, but we've totally dissipated all the natural endowments that the Lord blessed us with. And all of us, individually and collectively, we may have to answer for this, come Judgment Day. So I would say, get active, participate, and make sure that we do our very best to right everything that is wrong about Nigeria.
The script of Nigeria. It's been nice having you on the program, Gbenga. Thank you so much. I will still urge you, I will still push you, still show you if I have to do that to get what X stands for. So we'll come here with another interesting edition of the program with an equally interesting guest on the CEO. Be inspired, mentor somebody. and make the best use of what God has blessed you with. Yinka Ogundimu is my name on behalf of the entire crew. See you sometime.